Hello, I am Sue with Woman of Noble Character, and I am delighted that you are here with us today. I have joining us actress, master storyteller, producer, director, and all around beautiful Christian woman, Karen Abercrombie. You probably know Karen as her role in the War Room of Miss Clara. I'm thrilled to have you here today. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm grateful to be here with you.
Wonderful. Well, would you tell our audience a little bit about you, your life, and your career?
Yes, I'm an actress, new film producer. I'm a wife and a mother, and yes, most people probably would know me from playing Miss Clara in the movie War Room, which was actually an answer to a prayer that I had put up 13 years prior to my even becoming involved in the project. So, yes, and I'm working right now. I wanted to produce films because I see we are inundated with so much trash via the big screen and television, and so I see how the impact that War Room made, and I just want to create other projects, like projects, faith-based, good stuff, so that we can take the world back, spread the kingdom.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Would you tell us a little bit about your testimony of faith?
Yes, I gave my life to Christ at 7 years old. My aunt Vine had a children's ministry called Sunshine Band, and she'd go into the different neighborhoods where the children didn't know Christ. And I was one of them. My father was her brother, and he didn't go to church. He wasn't a believer per se, and neither was my mother. They were both alcoholics. My mother was always also a drug abuser as well. So we saw some crazy stuff growing up, but it was what it was. But after I gave my life to Christ, I spent a lot of time in church, doing drama, plays, children's choir. And then when I turned into a teenager, oh, yeah, I walked away. And I became the party girl. But see, God never walked away. I could always feel his presence there with me, no matter what I was doing, no matter
Amen.
where I was. And I started walking back in my 20s, and I'm still walking. I want to be so close that I look like him, that I smell like him, that I radiate him. So that journey, still
That,
on it.
that is just beautiful.
Okay.
Um, so you kind of had a little bit of acting roots during that time when you were involved in your aunt's ministry. When did you decide and how did you decide that you wanted to pursue a career in entertainment?
Well, honestly, I always had a passion for it. It was something that I always did. Even as a kid, we'd see the Elvis Presley movies or the Sally Field movies, and we'd reenact the musicals and the plays. And I would be the one gathering everybody together and casting the roles and stuff. It was something that was always inside of me. And it just brings me and brought me pure pleasure. As a matter of fact, I know it was the arts. It was that gifting that God put in me and that desire to do it that saved me from following the footsteps, my parents' footsteps. And so I guess I got really serious in high school. And when it was time to go to college, I went to college to be, my intention was a therapist and a minor in English. But every moment I had, I spent trying to audition for somebody's play. So I eventually, after I left the University of Pittsburgh, and I auditioned for a acting school in New York City. I was accepted, and I went and have been doing acting professionally ever since. Uh-huh.
Wonderful. Our audience probably knows you best uh, as Miss Clara in the
Yes,
War Room.
yes.
Um, It is one of my favorite movies of all time, by the way, and one that I
Oh,
continue to watch over and over. And just
oh,
to
thank you.
hear that message and get that reminder of the importance of giving it to God. Uh,
Thank you.
what did playing that role mean to you?
Oh my God, it was life changing, really, on every level. Even the way that the Kendrick brothers work. We filmed every second of that movie under prayer. There were different groups who had been set aside that would cover us in prayer from the moment the camera started till the last, till we cut that movie. And we would all meet together in the mornings and have breakfast together. And after breakfast, someone would share a devotional. We would pray, and then we'd go off to work. So just seeing how they did everything through prayer. It was the first time I had experienced anything like that on a set, of course. You don't get that
Sure.
in Hollywood and pretty
Right.
much the world at large. You don't get that. So that was a teaching moment on so many levels. And then I knew that in order for me to bring the depth and all that I needed to bring to this character, I had to go to a place I'd never gone before. And I stayed on my knees asking God to help me deliver the message that He intended when He made it possible for me to even play this role. I was already Christian when I did it and had been for many, many, many years. And I thought that I was quite the prayer warrior myself, but in trying to go deeper and reaching out to God to be all that I needed to be Miss Clara, I realized that I had only been scratching the surface of prayer. And I just saw him work and bring things to me and through me. And so, yes, my life has changed in every area.
That's wonderful. You mentioned a little bit about this in what you just shared, but did you do anything special or prepare in any particular way for this role?
Well, I patterned some of the character after my Aunt Vine, who is a prayer warrior. She's on fire for God. She's 91 and she's still in great shape, and she is still carrying that torch and passing that fire. So I was able to pull from her, and like I said, just um, praying to be able to make a believable three-dimensional character and just to be yielded to God so that He could pour that message through me. So I worked every day. That was my prayer every day. Use me. Let me be in your will, out of your way. Let me deliver what it is you want me to deliver, the way you want me to deliver it. Thank you for the opportunity. Have your way.
Isn't that really the way we should prepare for everything in life, is on our knees and asking God? And the
Yes.
human in us thinks, oh, I've got this. And sometimes we
Oh,
set aside
girl.
until we need him, but we
I
need every single moment of every day.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
So I understand that you have a new production company. I'd love to hear about that and what you're working on and how that came to be.
Okay, yeah. My production company is called Isanaklesh Entertainment. And Isanaklesh is a Native American word that means mother of the earth or mothering the earth. And basically what we're doing, we're just creating and producing stories that will touch people, change people's lives for the better, bring harmony, love, and peace, spread the word, the gospel, and to do it in interesting and exciting ways, maybe ways telling stories that had never been told, uh, in the world, Christian stories. So very excited to do that. And I did that, like I said, I see the power of television, see the power of film. People digest it. They allow what they see to become their food. And that can be good or it could be very, very bad. So just want to use those airwaves and the big screen to put good stuff out there, love, kindness, peace, all of the good stuff that God calls us to do. We can do that. And it can be entertainment and exciting all at the same time.
That's what a fabulous mission. I know one of the projects that you're working on is a movie called Just Grace.
Yes.
I'm excited to see my new friend, Sharon, who will be playing a role in your film. Tell us a little bit about Just Grace.
Just Grace is a story about forgiveness, about healing, and about grace. And we've got a woman who has gone through some terrible things, and her life is, the carpet has been pulled right out from under her. And so the things that meant something to her, that she loved most dearly, has been taken away. And so she's angry at God. She is angry, she is bitter, and because of it, her life eventually starts to spiral out of control. And then we see God enter. Actually, he had never left, but we see him enter in the space where he can get in, where she allows him to, and he brings healing. It's really a powerful story. I don't want to give too much of it away, but it is, you'll cheer, you'll cry, you'll shout, and you're gonna feel good at the end of it. It's an emotional roller coaster ride. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Mhm.
What's one takeaway that you hope someone will get from seeing Just Grace?
Unforgiveness leaves you blocked up, plugged up.
Mm.
God has things for you that he desires to pour, to saturate you with, but unforgiveness will stop him from pouring in because there's nowhere for it to go. But when we release the unforgiveness, then there's space for him to come in with all the stuff he has for you. And then again, he asks us, he's in the prayer, and it's so simply taught to us, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. And it gets to the point, forgive those, if you want forgiveness, you've got to forgive. So as hard as it is to forgive, we must do it in order to be all that he has purposed here to be, in order to receive all that he is holding for us, that he can't wait to give us. We have to make way for it. We have to make space for it. Yeah.
That the description alone, I think, just is going to make our audience just line up and be ready to buy tickets to go see this film. I'm just so excited. And forgiveness, so many hold on to that bitterness and can't forgive.
Yeah.
And God commands us to do that, and he wants us to do that. And he wants to do so much in our lives, but
Yes.
we sometimes just don't let him in.
No, exactly. Exactly.
So when will you start production on the film? And
Well, right now, we're going to start camera shooting the third week in August. And we're actually doing some fundraising right now just to put everything together. I had some people who wanted to invest, but then they wanted me to change the story a bit so that it would be more acceptable to the world. Of course, I refused to do that. So that left me having to trust God the way that I should trust him all the way anyway. I said, okay, God, it's me and you. If you gave me this story, you want it done, I'm trusting you wholeheartedly to bring all that I need, everyone that I need, so that we can glorify you in this project. So he has been doing some amazing things, bringing people to me from actually all around the world. And it's been quite amazing and quite humbling. But, we think that we're totally yielded, and we're not. But I had to get naked. I had to get completely naked and just say, okay, here I am. I surrender all. I'm going to do it. I'm going to trust you. Take man out of the quotient, out of the problem, or out of the, you know what I mean? out of the process, and it's me and you first, you guide me, you lead me, and I'm amazed. I am amazed at how he works.
He will find a way. He will make a way. And one of my favorite names of God is Jehovah Jireh. The
Jehovah
Lord will
Jireh, my
provide.
provider.
He
Yes,
will provide.
he does, brother. Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful. One of your other roles is as a master storyteller.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what that is and how that came to be in your life.
Okay. It's very interesting. I was living out in Los Angeles, and one of the things I prayed for was to have a child. I was 39, had been trying for years to have a child, and didn't happen. And then at 39, I became pregnant with my one and only child. He's 22 now. His name is Michael. He's amazing.
Oh,
Another gift from God. And I wanted to be able to be a hands-on mama. So we decided to leave Los Angeles, and we bought a large farm in upstate New York. But I wanted to still stay creative. And so I started doing research on storytelling, and I started collecting stories from around the world and from just different people that I would meet along the way. And then I retool them and tell them. And I ended up putting together a storytelling CD. This was a while ago, and won some awards, Parents' Choice Awards for storytelling. And so people call me to storytell for their events. I do it in universities, colleges, churches. And I bring Bible stories to life, and absolutely love it.
wow. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. I hope to include some links so that people can see you in action in
Yes.
storytelling in this post. I think it's fascinating, and I think
Thank you.
you're bringing stories to life and people can connect with it on such a deeper level rather than just reading it or hearing it. They're
Yes.
immersed in it.
Yeah, and it's wonderful because then it allows them to, they use their imaginations to uh, assist as they hear. Their imaginations bring it to life for them as well. So it's a wonderful time. It's a wonderful community thing to do, bring the community together. And it just allows us to be that village that we used to be a long time ago. We've gotten so far apart from each other when we all in reality there may be an experience that I have had that I can minister to you about. I've walked in those shoes, but how will you know if you're over there? We never communicate, because we're so far apart. But storytelling, it allows me to share up close, and then we discuss afterwards, and then incredible things happen. So yeah.
That's wonderful.
Mm.
You mentioned this a little bit ago, but Hollywood or the entertainment industry as a whole
Uh-huh.
has a reputation for liberalism.
Yes.
And how do you stay true to your faith in such an industry which demonstrates daily anything but things of God?
It's very interesting. I made a choice to not do certain projects, not even to get involved in certain productions that perpetuate lies, deceit, sex, violence, all of the crazy. So that's one of the other reasons I decided to create a production company. And I've got an agent, and they handle some really well-known names, and I was grateful to be able to get in with them. But they keep, as a matter of fact, I'm probably going to be leaving them because I have to keep turning down auditions.
Because
I
they
always request to know what the project is about, who's in it, what are they doing in it. And they constantly, I say, I don't want to do this, I won't want to do that. And they continue to send me submissions or submit me for things I wouldn't allow my dog to be a part of, So like I said, I'm trusting God, And just like he found me in a little town in North Carolina, uh, to, and he already knew that he was going to have me play Miss Clara, you know, just like he brought that to me or me to it,
Mhm.
you know, he's going to allow everything that needs to take place as long as the condition of my heart aligns up to what is conducive to what he purposed me here to do.
Well,
So,
I'm so glad that you are so true in your faith and don't compromise. We see it way too often that people will do anything to get ahead and
and
even
I tell you, and it can be tempting. No matter how strong you are, it can be tempting because the devil, he's crafty, you know. And when you're so far in between jobs and you've got bills to pay and your work opportunity to work with this actor or that actor, you know, but you have to know who to whom you belong and
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. I'm actually working through the Armor of God Bible study by
Uh-huh.
your former co-star Priscilla
Yeah.
Shirer.
Oh,
And
absolutely amazing.
I admire her incredibly, absolutely incredibly. And the part of the study I'm at is early in the study where we talk about how crafty the devil is and how
Oh,
he
yes.
finds ways just to make you believe the lies. And we have
Yes.
to put on our full armor of God to stay strong in that.
You
So,
have to. You have to.
in terms of your career, what's
Uh-huh.
one big risk that you've taken that has paid off?
It's very interesting. I would say just standing up for my faith. And it is what allowed me to put me on track to Miss Clara. And being a part of War Room has it's given me a platform, but I'm now understanding that it's more than just a platform. It's catapulting me to the other places and things that he purposed me here for. So, playing an older woman, you know, in Hollywood, oh my gosh, once you're 35, they look at you like, okay, you're going down. You know, it wasn't until recently that they started using some older actors, and then see, not only being an older actor, but an actress of color.
Right.
You know, so and there's just not a whole lot of roles out there. So my choice, my decision was, you know what? I'm not going to allow them to tell me when and how I can use the gifts that God gave me. Isn't that crazy? We get caught up in thinking, oh, whoa, if we can't do it in Hollywood, we can't do it anywhere. If they say we have no value now, then we have no value now. All lies, deceit, deception to stop you from doing that powerful and mighty thing that He has purposed you to do.
Amen.
Mm.
Amen. So you've got a lot going on. You've got the movie. Tell us a little bit about what's next for you. Of course, you're still in the process of getting Just Grace going and you'll be starting filming. What's next for you?
I've got a couple of more films coming down the pipeline that I'm going to be producing. And I'm kicking around an idea of it's a powerful piece for it's a faith-based sci-fi TV show.
Huh.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. And so that's going to be a pretty powerful thing. It's called Remnant.
Okay.
And you know the story of the remnant in the Bible, where God starts to call the remnant back. And so we play with the story a little bit, and they're coming from all over the world and coming together, just thwarting the devil here and now where he is, as everybody starts to go back to the original place. So that, and I'm going to do a little short podcast called Simply Living Well, where it talks about simplifying your life. And yes, you can live a simple life and you can live it very well. You know, we're so caught up in having this and that and this and that. But if we just simplify and take care of what we have and take care of our body, so it talks about how we nurture ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, and also being good to the earth, this
Absolutely.
incredible earth.
So
Yeah.
I hope that you'll have resources to direct our listeners to so they can check out that podcast.
Yes, yes, yes. They'll be able to find out when it launches and all of that just by going to my website, KarenAbercrombie.com.
Okay.
And
We'll
I'll
also
also be,
include the link below so that they can
yes,
click and go directly there.
okay, beautiful.
So
Thank you.
before I wrap up, I want to ask you a few fun tidbits. They're just off
Okay,
the top of your head, a little bit about you.
okay,
Okay? Uh,
yes.
I know you probably have more than one, but what is one of your favorite Bible verses?
Oh, anything from Psalm 91, under the shadow of his wings. Um, oh my gosh. I would say that in its entirety, as well as Psalms 139, which is it in its entirety. It's just powerful because it talks about the intimacy that we can have with the Creator, and it helps us better to understand David. We read about David, his ups and downs. He was
Oh,
flesh, he was man, he had victories, he had failures, but so do we all. But just the realization that God is who he is, and he knew us before we were formed in our mother's womb and before all of our parts were knitted together. He knows when we're lying down and sitting. Oh, that's just that's
love it.
in its entirety.
Absolutely love it. Uh, what is one female character in the Bible that you resonate with, that just speaks to you?
I would say there are several for many reasons. Mary, the mother of Jesus, in that people don't realize Mary grew up Bethlehem, well, not Bethlehem, but Nazareth was the hood.
Mm,
It was the hood. It was a rough place. That's why they said, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" So she did, and I grew up, I guess, in a hoodish kind of place at one point in my life. It wasn't always that way, but but she was simple. She was humble. She yielded to the word of God, and look at the fruit he brought up and out of her. Nobody ever talks about her being the most beautiful or the most intelligent or the most this or most that, but she was more than enough because she was the one that God chose to bear his one and only son. So things aren't like they look. We can't compete and try to compare because we are all individually made, all works of art, and God has like things for us, or that he will do through us. Mary's already given birth to our Jesus, but he will still use us in great ways to grow his kingdom. So this unlikely candidate, because man would think, oh, she would have to be a princess from a dynasty forever, but no, 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 no. He went to this place, Nazareth, that was this funky little whacked out town. And not only did he find her there, but Jesus grew up there.
right.
And then so it's powerful. And
Yeah.
Esther had to
Mm,
stand up in the truth, all truth, risking her life to save her people.
mm,
So many of them.
right.
Yeah.
For the same reason that Mary was one you selected, one of mine that I admire is Rahab. You
Oh,
know,
I tell that
prostitute.
story.
And it shows you that it doesn't matter who you are or what family you're born into. God has a plan for you.
That's a story that I tell everywhere I go. The story of Rahab. And not only was she a prostitute, she became the great, 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 great grandmother of Jesus Christ, the
Yeah.
Savior to all mankind. So that goes to show you God can use any and every willing vessel, and that He is not a respecter of people, because she hit her blood
Hmm.
eventually rooted out
Into our
and
Savior.
flowed through Jesus.
I love it. So switching gears a little bit,
Yes.
what is one television show that you just can't miss?
Honestly, I don't watch a lot of television, but I do like HGTV, House Hunters International, because it allows you to travel all over
Right.
the world and experience that. That's one of the things I love to just do is travel. I hike and I stargaze. I'm a crazy nature lover. If I didn't have to wear shoes, girl,
Mhm.
I would not wear shoes.
Me either.
So just to be able to travel and see all the lands and things, the flowers, the animals that He has created, it just blows my mind, and I just want to be there. I want to smell the flowers. I want to see the animals up close. I want to experience these things. So that's one of the reasons that I watch it. And I watch some of the history stuff or travel channels, because it also allows me to travel uh,
Via your
via
couch.
the two. Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's great. um, what's one book that you're reading now, or one that you've recently read that you really loved?
Oh gosh, it oh gosh, a couple of things go through my mind. Uh, Maybe The Kite Runner. It was a
Oh, yes, I read that.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
It's just a powerful, beautiful story.
Amazing.
What did you like so much about it?
It's been a while since I've read it, but the characters were so rich. And I don't think where we live in the United States, we have any concept of
We don't.
what life is like
Yes.
growing up in that environment, in that war, in that constant conflict and being afraid. So yeah, I just loved that book. I've read he has another one too that I've read. Can't think the name of it, but it's also very good.
Yeah, but stories like that, and I don't know when I read it. It was a long time ago, but it just stuck with me, and for the reasons that you just explained. We are so fortunate. We are so blessed that when we wake up, there may be a plane flying over, but it's not one dropping bombs, no torpedoes and stuff. We can wake up and hear the birds sing if we stop and listen, you know, so yeah, we're so fortunate. And I don't know that some of the experiences that people experience every day in some of these other countries, it's like a continuous nightmare.
I know.
And yeah, we're so blessed and fortunate. But that certainly was one that uh, struck me deeply. And then I read, I don't know, a little bit of everything, but yeah, it's the only thing that
Okay.
popped into my head.
What was the last thing you searched on Google?
Okay, the last thing it was this morning before I went out to a meeting. I'm doing some location scouting for the movie, and I'm looking for an older, either large Victorian home or a large craftsman. It need not be in pristine condition, but it will allow us to get in and use it for one of the scenes, some of the major scenes actually in the movie. So that is what I had gone searching for, some photos of homes, and then I put it on Facebook so that my Facebook friends in the area can help me search out this set to shoot in.
Okay. We just rely on Google for just about everything, don't we?
Yeah, there's some positives as long,
As
yeah,
well as negatives.
yeah, yeah.
Coffee or tea?
I love the smell of coffee. I had to give it up. I'm a tea drinker. I do any herb tea, homeopathic, anything natural. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And favorite snack food?
I if I'm if I'm if I break protocol and get junky, I give me a Snickers bar and maybe
Oh, yeah.
a couple of what do you call those? Fritos corn chips.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I try to make it some fruit. I love pink lady apples to death. I love them, especially when they're really crunchy.
Mm,
Yeah.
juicy, yeah.
Oh, girl, yeah. Bite it and the liquid's running down your arm.
I love it. Um, and finally, how can we, our viewers today, my readers, pray for you in this season of your life?
Just that I am in alignment with all that God calls me to, all that He has for me, wisdom, discernment, all of those things. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, and if I may add, I already mentioned that I'm doing my little fundraiser for the film. What I did was I did a short, concise, very easy to carry 21-day prayer devotional. And it is available on my website. It's $13.99. I will send it. I will autograph it and send it without. There will be no charge to ship it to you. So what they would have to do is mention your name, because then if they don't, then there will be a little shipping charge. But
Okay. Well, I
yeah.
will be sure to include that in the post. I've just ordered my copy of it from your website.
Oh, you did? Thank you.
So I will do, I do book reviews, and I'll do a book review on it and share
Okay.
how everybody can get a copy of it. So
Okay.
I want to thank you so much for spending the time with us
Oh
today.
no, thank you.
I hope we get to talk again. I know
Thank
my
you.
readers are just going to love getting to know you. You have been an incredible pleasure to spend time with
Oh,
this morning.
thank you. And I love the color of your eyes.
Oh, well, thank you so very much.
Yeah.
But, well, thank you. And we look forward to seeing what comes next from you.
Okay, thank you so much. Continued blessings to you and all that you do. Mwah.
Thank you.